I'm Corey LeBounty with the AHSAA Radio Network here at McGill-Toolen in Mobile, Alabama, with head girls basketball coach Carla Berry. Her Yellow Jacket team is getting things done this season. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Talk about your team so far, Coach. You guys, when you put your schedule together, you wanted to put together a tough schedule. Talk about how it's gone thus far.
We're 12-1, so that sounds pretty good. I certainly think we've had some really good wins against some quality teams. I think at times we've been a little inconsistent, and I like to see that, clean up some things so that we can, find ourselves clicking on all cylinders heading into January when it gets a little tougher against your area opponents and the stakes are a little bit higher. But certainly wanted to challenge ourselves early in the season. We played Faith twice. Size is always, something I hate to say it's an issue. You've got to master the hand you've been dealt. We're a little bit longer this year, but I hadn't hit that 6-foot mark in a while. My first couple of years here, we had a few volleyball players that were primary volleyball players and were able to help us, but we've been small in most cases. So I think you have to challenge yourself in preparation for dealing with that, particularly in the playoffs and at a championship level. We played a 6'7" kid from McKinley that signed with Texas A&M, and certainly, a team effort. Just in terms of help and how we wanted to defend her and the ball around her and so forth. I thought we did a good job of executing the game plan, and opportunities like that, certainly prepare you for, any obstacle you may see in the postseason. So I've been pleased to see for the most part that we've executed our game plans against some very good teams early in the season and have tested ourselves headed into January when we start area play.
Coach, talk about some of your players who make it a difference. I mean, this is an opportunity. 5 times in a row, you've had an opportunity to make it to the Final Four. Some of the young players have seen that and not taking it for granted, but they've gone their entire high school career having an opportunity to make it to Birmingham, Alabama. What has been the motivation trying to let this team know that nothing is given and they have to earn it making it back to Birmingham?
Well, I certainly think it helps that we've gotten there but hadn't been able to finish the deal. So we've left opportunities on the table, and so, you can't get complacent, particularly when you haven't ended your season with a win, and that's a rare thing. It doesn't mean that we're not a good team, not worthy of a championship, but that's just one of those rare, unique things that separates good teams, a lot of good teams from that team that's fortunate to win it. So I think that keeps us motivated. The fact that we hadn't gotten over the hump just quite yet. And I think from a day-to-day standpoint, our kids strive for excellence. They want to be playing their best basketball, and I think the fact that we play a tough schedule also keeps them motivated from game to game, from day to day at practice, to make sure they're prepared to meet that challenge.
Nia Valentine leads your team, Coach. She's a dynamic point guard. She can shoot the ball. She can handle the ball. Great things happen when the offense moves through her. Talk to her about how she's grown as a player and where you would like to continue to see her go.
Well, I certainly think, like you said, she's a triple threat player. She can shoot the deep ball, shoots it as well as anybody in the state. When she gets rolling, it certainly gives us a lot of momentum to see her knocking down threes. It puts a lot of pressure on the defense, but she's got a great mid-range game as well. She's excellent off the dribble. Her change of speed and direction, and her ability to navigate the floor and half-court traffic, full court is exceptional. But what makes her so good for our team is her ability to create offense for other players. She just in terms of her pace can attack the paint, read the defense, and drop a pass, pocket pass to our post players or kick it to another player. I think her improvement has come in the last couple of years. Her maturation is just her ability to think the game, to be an extension of our coaching staff and point things out to me that she may see on the floor before I do on the bench during the course of the game. Her practice habits have gotten better just in terms of consistency from start to finish. With how she impacts practice, the intensity level. And I probably think the one thing that she's done well physically as a player is just learning to move without the basketball. A lot of teams would try to trap her or deny her the ball back when they got it out of her hands, and having been a point guard all her life, somebody that plays off the dribble so much, learning to be effective off the ball, just with movement and making the correct reads and occupying the defense is certainly a place she's grown tremendously and created more separation for herself.
You mentioned your schedule. What kind of tournaments do you have coming up prior to the Christmas break and also after the Christmas break?
Well, we've already played Robertsdale tournament. We faced Eufaula. They are exceptional defensively, extremely quick, tested us with great full court pressure. And they're fast, and I tried to prepare my team for that as well as we could. We had seen them in Birmingham last year doing a Christmas tournament, but to see it on the floor coming at you, it took us a little while to get adjusted. I think they started the game on a 10-0 run or something to that effect. But once we adjusted, we were able to execute the game plan in terms of how we wanted to defend, the space we needed to give, the help we needed to give, the things we needed to do to manage their pressure. So that was a tough tournament. And then we played Faith in the championship game. We're going to play at Bishop State next Thursday, and we'll face Pensacola, a team that we played in the summer. They're really good, and it gave us all we could handle during the summer, so we'll see them again. And then we're going to Panama City, where we're and the schedule, ironically, has, with the tournament, sometimes it's a regional tournament. Right when I've gathered tape and got ready to scout an opponent, I get a new schedule and it's changed. So I'm going to wait probably to the start of the week before I start actually breaking down our possible opponent. But that team is right as it stands now is a team from Georgia. Okay. So that will that'll be someone we hadn't seen before. We'll probably have to prepare for a different style of play. The personnel may cause us to force some adjustments and so forth. And then one team that we could potentially face again would be McKinley. Okay. They're there as well. So I expect that's going to be a big challenge. With different styles of basketball, good coaching, talented teams and so forth. So that'll be a test for us as well.
Coach, a lot of people don't know you're a graduate of McGill-Toolen. You played for the legendary Dirty Dozen head basketball and volleyball coach Becky Dickinson. Yes. Talk to us what it means to you to be back here at McGill-Toolen and to have played for her and what her coaching influence means to you.
It was a tremendous blessing for me to play for her, just in terms of obviously, from a athletic standpoint, the preparation and development, the things she taught and the opportunities she created were exceptional. And at that time, girls basketball was as good as you can get in the city. But certainly Ms. Dickinson kind of set a standard, so to speak, in how we prepared, how we executed, the opportunities we had and so forth. But with all that said, the most important thing were the life lessons that she taught. And that created a legacy that I wanted to bring back here and share with this generation of athletes, just in terms of preparation, execution, discipline. And what it does is, you learn those things and you implement it in your play, in your day-to-day life. But you find years later that there's so much more important with how you manage, relationships and in the workplace and your family, just in life. And I think it's critically important that this generation, have an opportunity to experience that type of preparation, not just for basketball and college, but life.
Coach Carla Berry, the head girls basketball coach of McGill-Toolen, joining us right here on the AHSAA Radio Network.